Alright, if you're a plant, you're making your own food, and we have a special name for that. That is a producer. Producers are the living things that make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. Here are some picture examples of producers. Different types of plants, so they don't have to go hunting for food. They make their own because of the energy they receive from the sunlight. Consumers. These are living things that cannot make their own food. They get their energy from eating food. So we can't make it within. We have to go hunt it, go buy it in order to cook and eat it. A rabbit is a type of consumer. We'll get into what specific type in a few minutes. Coyotes, wolves, lions, tigers are all types of consumers. You are a consumer. Food gives living things energy, and energy is what we need in order to survive. So who eats who? Herbivores. If you only eat plants, then you're a herbivore, also known as a primary consumer, because you're the first level. Alright, you only eat plants. If you eat only meat, you're known as a carnivore. These are types of secondary consumers. Omnivores are also secondary consumers. They eat both plants and animals. Decomposers. Decomposers break down things in order to put nutrients back in the ground. And so fungi are examples of decomposers. Insects can be examples. Buzzards can be examples. Let's put all this together in a food chain, because in a food chain we have producers, we have primary consumers, we have secondary consumers. Alright, so here, if we look, we can see that we have the grass, which is a producer. The grasshopper is a primary consumer or herbivore because he only eats grass. The mouse is a secondary consumer, and the owl is also a secondary consumer. So you can have more than one secondary consumer. This is a food chain. Notice the arrows. We're going to talk about what they mean in a second. A food web is nothing more than a food chain, except there are many food chains that make up a food web. So we have many different types of producers. We have many different types of consumers. Let's look at this more closely. Is the grass really eating the grasshopper? The arrows are following the flow of energy from one organism to another. So that's the purpose of the arrows, to tell us where the energy is going. So in this picture here, if we looked at it carefully, this grass here would be considered a producer. Since the grasshopper only eats this, what is this grasshopper considered to be? Right, a primary consumer or a herbivore. If this bird eats the grasshopper, what is this bird? Good job. That bird would be considered a secondary consumer. Also a carnivore, because he's eating another animal. He's only eating meat. If he were to eat plants and animals, he would be considered an omnivore.